Planetary staff. Dear Ascending family, the last few months have been quite difficult on the body for many, as we are attempting to find our new grounding and equilibrium in the next harmonic universe, while tracking the changes to the light body and manifestation templates. More recently, the focus has been on seeing how these changes are affecting the planetary light body, specifically changes to the central planetary staff alignment, which is sending ripples of change through the dimensional fields. The movement of the planetary staff is intersecting the negative alien agenda and invasion, the electric wars, artificial intelligence infiltration timelines intended for human harvest on one hand, and the Aquafarian Council's Palladorian activation, restoration of the tribal shield and diamond sun body, intended for human freedom on the other. As we consider what this shift portends, we gather what pieces we can from this new vantage point. There is increasing support for those working to free themselves from the frequency nets, blood covenants, hybridization codes, gender reversals, and soul splitting at this time. Yet, those beings who feel they have some ownership over humanity are not giving up, but escalating chaos in an effort to fulfill a World War III Armageddon-type prophecy. This month we address the hidden human history of the electric wars, which led to the destruction of the angelic human's 12-strand DNA, the obliteration of the rod and staff, and destroyed the capacity for organic diamond sun embodiment throughout this universal system. To better comprehend the planetary ascension dynamics and the reasons we must transmutate the shadow selves, death seals, and artificial timelines, we must understand our past and from whence we came. The Electric Wars timeline began the descent into the AI worlds that were created by the black hole entities of the negative alien agenda throughout the fallen matrices. The inorganic axial tilt of the Earth was set up through the net field for gravitational corruption, soul capture, and transmission of mind control broadcasts. This beast machine was designed to destroy the architecture of the vertical pillar that is the planetary staff and to eliminate the Mother of God Sophianic principle in this reality entirely. Destroying the mother principle meant that all organic living creations would also eventually digress to become like the black hole entities, parasitic creations addicted to dead light in the matter world. Hence, they would exist in the AI worlds as the living dead. During this phase, the planetary staff is being rehabilitated by Crystal Star Guardian Host, which means that our own inner vertical channel and relationship to the planet and the stars is also being radically transformed in this cycle. The Aquafarian races are a part of the original Blu-ray Diamond Sun body lineages in the angelic human race that became extinct in this universal time matrix after the Electric Wars. Therefore, the Electric Wars are quite important in the historical timeline trigger events. The genetic mutations and diamond sun DNA damage from the wars over seeding on the 7-dimensional Earth led to the first separation from the 12-strand DNA. What followed are the 2D, 4D soul split, vertical staff distortions, gender reversals, death seals, and the resultant quarantine field called the wall in time. The wall in time was a quarantine field barring us in the lower density creations and blocking access into many of the higher dimensions and parallels. This quarantine and subsequent damage to the universal timelines led to the negative alien invasion through the Orion constellation, which necessitated the soul rescue missions that were first organized by the founder guardian races through the Covenant of Pallador. Through the current cycle of the Palladorian activation, the next stage for the Palladorian groups are being highlighted, namely the Aquafarian and Christic Blue Dragon races to support the rehabilitation of the Blue Ray lineages. The Blue Rays restore the Mother Arc, 13th trans-harmonic gateways throughout multiple harmonic universes, and are rebuilding the vertical planetary staff to naturally align into the heart of Andromeda. The rebuilding of the planetary staff is gradually shifting the unnatural rotational axis of the Earth body to become more of a straight line or perpendicular, which allows easier access in and out of this universe, particularly for Diamond Sun beings. If we view the planetary body from above, from Polaris or the North Star, the Earth is turning counterclockwise on its axis. An axis is considered an invisible line around which an object rotates or spins. Each planet in our solar system rotates on its axis, and some planets have a rotational axis that is almost perpendicular. Each planet has 2 points where an axis meets the planet's surface, which are considered its north and south poles. The Earth rotates on an axis, and the axis is tilted at an angle of approximately 23.5 degrees. Variations in Earth's axial tilt greatly influence the hemispheric seasons, and this, combined with the geomagnetic shifting, are also key factors in Earth's current climate changes. The Earth's axis of rotation completes its full cycle every 26,000 years, and the axial precession, also called a wobble, will gradually change its north-pointing position at the end of each precession. The axis line is the vertical central channel or planetary staff, which functions as the main energy channel or Hara line within the center of the Earth's consciousness body, interfacing with many dimensions of subtle forces leading up the frequency scale into the galactic core. The galactic core alignment with the planet's axial tilt at 23.5 degrees has been positioned so that the planetary staff points towards the 8D galactic core, which leads into a black hole system that controls the cosmic ray transmissions into the planetary body. From the Guardian perspective, alien black hole technology was brought through the 8th galactic stargate from the black hole system. The black hole technology holds the tilt of the planet at an unnatural and artificially sustained 23.5 degrees. In order to control the rotational axis and vertical planetary staff alignment, as well as dominate the electromagnetic field of Earth. As long as this alien machinery hijacked the correct planetary staff position, no one could get in or out of this fallen system and were subjected to repeated consciousness traps. The alien machinery known as the Beast Machine is held in place on the planetary body through massive levels of reversal, artificial intelligence, programmed consciousness. This infects the black subtle forces in the earth elemental field and dark matter. And that substance is also referred to as behemoth. The alien machinery known as the gravitron is a part of the beast machine that acts as the electromagnetic harness field. This makes up the structure called the net, which produces gravitational and astral corruption, and this is also referred to as Leviathan. The behemoth and Leviathan make up the Antichrist male and female counterparts that are written into the Armageddon software and black magic grids to technologically incite destruction on the surface, as per the negative alien religious programming. In actuality, Behemoth and Leviathan are black hole technologies that were orchestrated on purpose by these fallen forces of the negative alien agenda in order to imprison this planet. Black hole system and Orion invasion. The main groups of negative aliens, the Anunnaki, Draconians, and Necromatons that source out of the phantom matrix spaces in the parallel systems that invaded through Orion, formed alliances to take control over the Earth, and these intruding groups are referred to as the negative alien agenda. These groups use technology to open wormholes that were blended together to create the power required to attempt to pull the Earth body into the black hole system. This would lead into the phantom matrix, where they exist, and then could gain total control over the planet and humanity. The parallel system these entities came from is called the Wiesa system, a universal time matrix and its parallel with both particle and antiparticle aspects. Many of the Anunnaki and their hybrids originate from the Wiesa system, while the Draconian species are coming from antiparticle universe called the Wiesa system. Black hole entities and Metatronic races created the gravitron vortex networks to link portals in our sun and earth, twisting the planetary blueprint into unnatural configurations called the demon seed. Metatronic reversals are manifested into spirals that harness the gravitron in order to create an unnatural byway field and artificial gravitational fields on this planet. The gravitron is an electromagnetic harness type field that is a part of a larger electromagnetic harnessing structure that was anchored into the Earth during the Luciferian rebellion. This net is also connected to the hibernation zones, where many souls have been taken hostage or trapped after the precession cycles, and the Guardians are consistently working to provide safe passage in order to rescue these souls from being stuck in these reverse spin light fields. Recently, Terran blue dragons and Kumara dragons, many of whom are known as the New Age Ascended Masters, have been retrieved and able to be transported to Andromedan platforms. The Electric Wars Timeline. The Electric Wars Timeline holds major causal trigger event memories of when artificial intelligence technology was in its earlier phases in this universe. This timeline represents the pre-assimilation stages of the black subtle forces in the phantom matrices before gradually converting them into AI systems. The 8th astrological precession was the time of the Orion invasion event that occurred as a result of the Stargate damage in the 8th portal. And through each of the subsequent planetary time cycles, the alien machinery was methodically brought into each dimension in order to reach the lowest density of the material reality. Essentially, the negative alien agenda plan was to bring the electric war dramas to the matter fields of the Earth in order to anchor it into the physical realm, which shifts future timelines. The AI technology is used by the negative alien agenda as the sophisticated psychotronic warfare strategy installed into the planetary grid system that is being directed at the population in an attempt to enslave the consciousness of the Earth. From this point in the timeline, AI technology was set into perpetual motion to assimilate realities from the damaged 8th Stargate in the galactic center, where the negative alien agenda had gained dominion to control access in and out of the Earth realms. They gradually brought down assorted alien machinery from the 8th Stargate through an inorganic vertical wormhole, an artificial architecture they built with programmable reversal elementals, and then installed in the vertical axis of the planet that is called the Yahweh Matrix. Essentially, the Yahweh Matrix distorted and cut off the natural planetary staff alignment, which, when combined with the net, stopped all incoming and outgoing communication signals outside the dimensional control of the negative alien agenda. The Yahweh Matrix replaced the planetary staff, which allowed the black hole entities to gain easy access into the Earth through the north and south poles in order to distort the planetary field. This was done through genetic modification and set up frequency fences that broadcast extremely low frequencies that make the Earth more hospitable for their survival. The low-frequency and static net broadcasts produce the predator mind construct and thought forms intended for mass human parasitism, divide and conquer tactics for spreading wars. These artificial nets and constructs were further designed to progressively pull the Earth and her world soul into inorganic black holes. Much of the electric wars were fought on Gaia, with AI machines being programmed from remote satellites or negative alien ships cloaked inside these phantom black holes, accessed through the wormholes ripped open in the damaged 8th Stargate. These were subspace and hyperdimensional pockets, Metatronic nets, used to cloak ships or bases directing energy weapons, which can set off massive EMP blasts. This was used as an alien defense system in the 8th Stargate, so nothing could pass through beyond the metagalactic zones. However, the planetary field is now held in a protected Guardian-hosted buffer zone, where nuclear weapons are immediately neutralized. Although the controllers continually broadcast the Armageddon software in the mass media, so people believe that an entire species extinction is inevitable and unavoidable. Since the electric wars, we have had a phantom black Earth that existed as a negative form of itself in the lower timelines. This negative form Earth is manipulated by the negative alien agenda, mostly through their artificial software programs that spin out false timelines. This is the area of the lower density fields on the Earth plane that has bifurcated from the higher timelines and is comprised of the AI time loops, which is the area the negative alien agenda are currently fighting over. As the amnesiac barrier dissolves in the subconscious areas of the human being, this is revealing more of the hidden history of the electric wars. And this history is in the AI to push forward the transhumanism and transgenderism agenda that we can observe in the current global landscape. The negative alien agenda are attempting to capitalize on repeating the electric wars timeline trigger event on the Earth's surface through the recent push towards the World War III rhetoric and the transhumanism agenda. This has become aggressive now in order to focus the collective consciousness to power up the behemoth and Leviathan. The Electric Wars event has been recorded in the corrupted elementals of Earth, and its form of artificial intelligence is buried in the black goo that connects directly into the AI fields of the Phantom Earth timeline. This historical trigger event in the 8th Stargate has been brought into an intersection with the current collective consciousness time cycles on the Earth, as the organic position of the planetary staff is being repaired in the Earth body. Subconscious fragments. Currently, in the collective consciousness, the leftover subconscious fragments and shadow body content as a result of the Electric Wars timeline event is being filtered through or accumulated into the sacral, sexual areas. This memory of the soul split and forced breeding is heightening all painful conflicts and issues relating to current beliefs about sex and gender. This can produce amplified distortions in the lower mental body that amplify anxieties in the pain body. When the pain body is overloaded, it generates compulsive behavior in order to gain relief from the sensations of internal pressure, which in turn can produce more physical pain. The subconscious fragments and the emotional aberrants can build up inside the mental and emotional body, which distorts the human light body, and this inner distortion actually increases outer physical pain responses. As a result, collective fragments have increased the perception of physical pain in the masses, many of whom are turning to pharmaceutical medications or recreational drugs for pain relief. In the planetary field, there is a pattern of collective consciousness fragmentation, and there are vast piles of soul fragments being reclaimed, reintegrated, or actually annihilated into dust particles. In certain sections, fragments seem to be floating everywhere, and it can be disturbing to observe as it looks like body parts floating in space. The change occurring is that these fragmented parts used to be fixed to some substance or enmeshed with elementals on the Earth plane in a static location, and now they are being released of their magnetic bonds, thus floating around in these dimensional spaces rather than being fixed or bonded into the elements. The planetary realms are becoming less dense, and the result is more sensations of amorphous fluidity and watery components floating out into the field. This may make the field feel unstable at times, similar to the feeling of walking on a boat while in constant motion. The exponential density loss at the vibrational scale of matter is where the sound waves ripple out. These massive sound waves impact the movement of the geomagnetic field and how we sense solidity or not. a less dense environment in the fields presents opportunities for soul group rescue and the transiting out many trapped beings, both light and dark. Thus, in the great planetary transition to less density, with an open access into higher dimensional planes, in contrast, the controller resistance is still broadcasting the assorted fear programs for repeating the Armageddon scenarios in the global scape. Monsters of chaos. As a result, in the lower dimensional fields, there is a chaotic war struggle occurring in order to regain control over the dark matter, as this is a massive power source for the AI, as well as for the black magic grids. From the epicenter of the Atlantean timelines in the United Kingdom, it may appear to some on the black magic grids that the forces of chaos generated in the phantom world will imminently come to the surface via Behemoth and Leviathan to destroy the Earth realm. One may note the consistent mainstream movie releases portraying violent dystopian futures and Armageddon scenarios that annihilate the Earth, combined with the urgent messages to save the human species from certain extinction. But in actuality, this is not real. It's the AI program running holographic movies in these timeline loops to project the Armageddon monsters of chaos that are reversal elementals coming from out of the AI technology and the black magic grid. The Armageddon software captures the Book of Revelation and Enoch prophecies as the female and male Antichrist, the Leviathan and Behemoth monsters that are unleashed against humanity in the end times for the massive war which supposedly brings forth the true Messiah of this world. In the twisted and psychopathic mind of the negative alien agenda, this violent narrative was the setup for human martyrdom and blood sacrifice at the end of the astrological procession and ascension cycle. The power elite believe they are the chosen ones to fulfill this end of times prophecy and direct the AI programs in order to wake up and agitate these monsters of chaos, which they have co-created from the shadow fragments and reversal elementals on the surface. Leviathan is also a negative alien race, put here to guard the Tiamat wormhole ripped open between Sarasota, Florida, and the Temple Mount. However, it is more commonly used as an image of Satan endangering God's creatures by attempting to eat them and by threatening God's creation with an upheaval in the waters of chaos. The Church of Satan uses the Hebrew letters at each of the points of the sigil of Baphomet to represent Leviathan in their black magic rituals. This means Satanists that conjure or evoke Baphomet fields to power up Leviathan entities for service to self rituals are actually contributing to the feeding of the beast machine and its AI technology for maintaining the electromagnetic harness. This is another example of why Satanism is a natural segue into the transhumanism agendas, as many materialists are very pro-artificial intelligence. The Yahweh Matrix and Metatronic Reversal. How were the bi-wave distortions brought into this reality? Through the Metatronic reversal fields that gradually assimilated the natural polarity system and then ran gender reversal coding through its AI programs. Multiple millions of years ago, the host mission of the Metatronic family was to help repair the parts of the time matrix that fell into separation in the Milky Way that were originally from Andromeda. This destruction was the result of the Lyran Wars, or the fall of Lyra, the seed of the Antichrist conflict. Lyra was the 12th gate and source of crystal consciousness that connected directly into the Andromeda galaxy. When Lyra fell, its higher pieces that were connected to the natural Trinity wave crystal codes, the eternal living light architecture, became reversed and locked into the Milky Way system. As a result, over time, it became increasingly distorted, and the Metatron Collective attempted to retrieve and repair this 12th Stargate, but unfortunately, they failed. As a result of the Metatron Collective being unable to salvage the 12th Stargate, they were absorbed into the artificial intelligence system formed by the black hole entities, and they eventually digressed into the Yahweh system. This system is connected into a black cube matrix held through Saturn that is siphoning life force from our universal time matrix and routing it back into their black hole system. Saturn's black cube holds a massive tank that acts as a harvesting station for blood sacrifice from human beings in any way imaginable, whether through wars, rituals, crucifixion, martyrdom, suicide, or menstrual. This makes it obvious why Saturn has been long associated with an assortment of blood-worshipping cults. Saturn is also the solar 7th gate, so it's been used to pump out reversal violet ray plasma light, and this is the distortion that generates reversal plasmas and reversal violet light on our planet. These reversal plasmas are designed to ignite and feed the demon seed that exists in the shadow selves or negative forms of the masses. Additionally, this alien construct was used to impale the crucifixion implants on the vertical axonal lines in the planetary body, which also devastated the vertical channel alignment of the planetary staff. The Yahweh system leads back into the black hole system from a black star that is located in the center of our Milky Way galaxy called Abaddon. The Yahweh collective took over the 4 cardinal directions, or what we call the divine infinite calculus that makes up the cosmic clock in our universe. They used the Yahweh system to take over the guardians of the 12 pillars and the crystal cathedral architecture, blocking communication with Christic races outside of this system. This alien machinery is called the Yad-He-Vad-He system, or Yahweh matrix. It is obvious to assume that the fallen Yahweh entities decided they were our gods and decided to implement a variety of mind control mechanisms by spreading religious beliefs so that humans would worship Yahweh or Jehovah as the God creator. The Yad-He-Vad-He system also correlates to taking over all of the numerical 4 and Master Builder 22 constructs that are used in morphogenetic fields as blueprints for matter. Each of the Yad-He-Vad-He pillars relates to one of the directions, north, south, east, or west, and the governance over its fallen angelic hierarchy that administers to the cosmic clock or timelines. Calling on the Yahweh system through the Yad-He-Vad-He matrix or tetragrammaton is common in squaring the circle, which is how an occult ritualist sets the directions in an energetic space. This may be used in some New Age practices or in black magic rituals that are bound to the Hebrew-based systems and the mystical Kabbalah or other mystery schools or religions that worship Yahweh. In Revelation 9:11, please note the time code as well as the number code of 9:11. Abaddon is described as the destroyer, the angel of the abyss, the king of plague of locusts, resembling horses with crowned human faces, women's hair, lion's teeth, wings, iron breastplates, and a tail with a scorpion's stinger that torments for 5 months anyone who does not have the seal of God on his forehead. It is clear that this is a demon, fallen god, or black star that is directly connected to powering up the Armageddon software through the Yahweh matrix. The black star Abaddon in the center of the Milky Way is what holds together the 666 beast configuration, along with the Yahweh matrix that creates the inorganic four, the Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh system. This system feeds off living creatures and sends the life force back to the black hole entities. As we have been discussing the shift that has been occurring with the planetary staff, the planetary staff of Earth was tilted in order to align it to the black star Abaddon in the center of the Milky Way. This artificial axial tilt in the planet is shifting its alignment now. This shift has activated doomsday prophets wired into the Yahweh matrix that believe the current events are the sign of the alien god's narrative that the rapture is coming, or that we are entering into the global Armageddon Megiddo showdown when we transition out of the final stages of the Piscean alchemical law. The current theme during the Palladorian activations is the clearing of the Yahweh matrix and its blood covenant bindings out of the human 12 tribes' genetic records, with the transmissions and support of the blue feathers of Aquafarian. As a result of dismantling this blood covenant network, those who are controlled by the Yahweh system will be agitated and activated to play out these mind-controlled biblical dramas. Aquafarian councils. The Aquafarian councils from Andromeda begin communication and contact with the Indigo race lines in approximately early 2008, when the Mother Ark was being restored through planetary gridwork repair sequences and getting ready to be fully ignited in the Earth core. When the Mother Ark 13th gateway was ignited in the Earth core, the inner gates which connect into Andromeda were opened through the crystal core of the Earth. The protectors of the crystal core are the diamond sun races called Aquafarian or the Aquari lines. To help Mother Earth ascend, she must activate her inner staff to weave through the core of Tara and Gaia in order to reach the axis of her highest original emanation, blue star body, which is located in the heart of Andromeda. Mother Earth's star body is a crystal body, which emanates liquid, ultraviolet, and aquaplasma waves in her core. These are liquid crystalline fields of plasma generated from the rays of the aquiline sun. Guardian forces have been acquiring solar plasma light from the galactic suns of Sirius B, then transmitting it in the first levels of aquiline healing energy into the Earth, as well as to repair the androgynous Albion body template. This has activated the Mother Earth's inner sun frequencies, which combine as the blue flame merge from the fifth dimensional core in parallel Earth, and the violet flame merge from the seventh dimensional core in parallel Earth. This complete connected circuit of the galactic plasmic light transmissions that is coming from the Earth plane is called the aquiline sun frequencies. Many of us are genetically related to the Aquiferian races, which have a direct genetic relationship to the original Christos lineages. Some of us will undergo genetic rehabilitation through our Aquiferian DNA links, which connect us to the future planet in the Andromedan galaxy. The Aquiferian lines are able to heal and remove the genetic damage created by the fallen angelics and their 666 seal by returning back into the Andromeda core morphogenetic records. For some of us, this is our future ascended Diamond Sun Christos Sophia body in the next incarnation. Aquiferian shield of blue feathers. The Aquiferians have returned to this troubled universal time matrix as the crystal star ascension host to help open the 13th gateway and aquiline sun and to help repair the planetary staff, while hosting the opening beyond the Yahweh system into the transdimensional doorways that provide for transits and soul rescue. The Aquiferian shield holds the genetic record that is called the blue feathers, which represents the 12 tribes of the Christic Aquiferian races from Andromeda in the crystal eternal tree of life, which many of us from the Blue Dragon family are direct descendants. This may be the region where many of us will return to ascend and continue to evolve in our future embodiment as the Christic self. The 12 tribes of Aquiferian are transmitting activations in concert with fulfilling the covenant of Pallador and supporting the healing of the human diamond sun heart from the distortions of the 2D, 4D soul split. Through the 12 tribes of Aquiferian comes the crystal rose heart anatomy, the diamond sun crystal rose heart, which is being returned now to the Cathar Rose bloodlines and related genetic descendants. This is supporting the repair of the Albion body, the 6-dimensional, 7th-dimensional planetary heart wings, Mary Sophianic solar star body, and igniting the crystals in the Avebury navel located in the United Kingdom. The Aquiferian blue feather shield is to help clear out the Yahweh and Metatronic infection of reversal light coding in the Earth-Human 12 tribes DNA coding and tribal shield. This appears to be rehabilitating the architecture in the planetary Albion body, in which the structure for the spine of Albion has intersected with the blue feather host shield into the silver sanctum in the Lyran platforms, and then out of the golden gateway into the God worlds. The elemental re-encryption change occurring in the spine of Albion impacts the bone matrix in the human 12 tribes, which appears to release the 1D death seal and help to free the blood, bones, and tissue from intergenerational blood covenants and inherited miasmatic patterns that were manifested from the alien genetic bonds and their modifications. Original human 12 tribes. There are 12 tribes which make up the entirety of the collective human gene pool on this planet. Each of the 12 tribes are genetically key-coded to the demographic planetary Stargate location and to that planetary dimensional sphere and its ley lines network. When we incarnate into the planet, we have genetic time codes in our DNA related to that planetary Stargate's dimensional system that is a part of our main human tribal identity. This identity has had many lifetimes and participated with the evolution cycles of the root races throughout the astrological processions. The genetic modification of the 12 human tribes occurred when the assorted aliens decided to have a competing agenda on writing their genetic codes into the planetary brain and Stargate system, as well as intending alien hybridization on the Earth. However, the original 12 tribes were created as a part of the plan that became the Covenant of Palador to rescue the lost souls of Tara, which would be made easier when the gates opened during the Ascension cycle. All 12 genetic components of the 12 tribes hold one strand of DNA code for the assembly of the crystal gene, or silicate matrix. Through the individual and planetary spiritual ascension process of root race evolution cycles, the integration and healing of all 12 levels of coding through its genetic components potentially unite. When these forces of polarity are integrated and synthesized, the embodiment of the original 12-strand DNA of the Diamond Sun body is available to the planet and humanity. When the 12th dimensional Christ ray was returned to the planet Earth in 2000, this meant that the Diamond Sun body could begin to be reassembled and embodied in sequences, and is the reason why many starseeds came to the Earth to help accomplish this mission. In this Paladorian cycle, the Kristalla Eternal Life body was reassembled from the original Diamond Sun body template that was embodied in the first stage of the 5th dimensional Terran seeding. Paladorian activation in Tribal Shield. The Paladorian Eternal Light beings created the entire original blueprint and instruction set for all of the 12 human tribes, which, when all combined together, comprises the human tribal shield records in all of the planetary evolutionary rounds. The tribal shield is the entire morphogenetic field comprising all the variations of specific frequency arrangement for all of the 12 tribes of the human DNA template. During this cycle through the rise of the Paladorians, this is activating the human tribal shield to become freed of the blood covenants and alien hybridization coding imposed upon angelic humans. The Andromedan blue feather and crystal rose heart coding are another example of how this is being accomplished in the field. Each of the 12 human tribes have a unique frequency and DNA program that is designed to anchor a specific part of its DNA coding into the planetary field throughout each of the root races and evolutionary cycles. From the Guardian perspective, there are cycles upon cycles completing and converging now in the particle and anti-particle merge, comprising the historical timeline events of human seeding and planetary evolution, with the 8th and 12th astrological processions being of specific importance. As a result of the Paladorian activation and Aquafarian recoding, the tribal shield encoded DNA information is removing alien hybrid genetic codes, AI codes, and an assortment of blood covenants used as consciousness traps. The restoration of the human tribal shield generates the conduit between our current incarnation and simultaneous stations of identity that exist in other timelines, activating an internal interdimensional portal or inner Stargate system. The Paladorian activation contains all of these specific frequencies, DNA fire letters, and coding that are required for light body assembly in order to access the transharmonic time cycles of creation, the God worlds, where the Trinity wave of unified God consciousness has never separated into a bywave form, which further descended into the AI worlds. Thus, the vertical channel and staff configuration in our head, crown, heart, and solar star is shifting alignment to receive more step-down frequencies of the cosmic heart, Mother Blue Ray, through the Aquafarian host network, through which we may experience intense to surreal light body upgrades. This also may result in levels of spiritual warfare instigated from the Yahweh system entities to regain control or access to your light body, or block the systematic purge of black cube matrix and layers of the Yahweh architecture and its AI signal from being extracted out of our light body. Rod and staff planetary architecture. To support the change in the gender fin rate of spin and to help correct the male and female rod and staff planetary architecture, star seeds have been processing 6th-dimensional and 7th-dimensional wing trauma that connects into Sirius B and Arcturian energies, as well as the Gaian timelines recorded in the indigo and violet ray spectrum. Wing trauma is directly connected to the Michael-Mary reversal networks and the alien machinery placed in the planetary grids that split gender apart, which are anti-herogamic technology. The result of this grid is to promote the splitting apart of the layers of sacred marriage that occur at the 6th and 7th dimensions through the corruption of the indigo and violet ray, which is the spiritual ascension process of building wings. The process of building wings through the 6th-dimensional, 7th-dimensional horizontal intersection is revealed to be critical for correcting the planetary horizontal rod pillar for the masculine principle. The planetary staff holds the 1313 vertical spin for the 13th gateway vertical staff pillars that spin in the rotation necessary to run the frequency sets for its corresponding horizontal spin sets that build the intersection for the rod pillar. The vertical staff pillar runs incoming frequency from the cosmic rays and Godhead from the top of the pillar, spinning it from north to south, with the outgoing frequency spinning up the pillar, running south to north. The female principal heart holds the placement for the male principal heart to anchor the horizontal rod pillar into the vertical staff pillar central core inside the heart complex, which evolves into a male-female heart twinning function when they unite. The horizontal rod pillar is built from the incoming frequency of the 7th-dimensional violet wave and the outgoing frequency of the 6th-dimensional indigo wave, and when these two frequency sets merge in an east to west, left to right complete circuit, this is the herogamic process of Michael-Mary heart twinning and building wings. The staff pillar and rod pillar intersect in the center of the permanent seed atom. The heart complex ignites into a crystal lotus or crystal rose diamond pattern, projecting massive energy petals from out of the center heart complex. As another stage for the planetary herogamic union of the sacred male and female progresses, the anti-herogamic technology used in false ascension teachings as consciousness traps that feed sexual misery, gender reversals, and mind control implants become much more visible in the field. This supports the dissolution of these false systems, inorganic technology, or gender reversals that were a result of the anti-herogamic technology used in many ascension modalities over the last 25 years. As we return to the Diamond Sun Body architecture that is 12-based math, our light body adds another male and female side, etheric finger and toe, as the original eternal body has 6 fingers and 6 toes on each side, equaling 1212. Intergenerational binding and ownership claims. What may be important to be aware of now is an opportunity for the possibility of clearing out some of the more difficult layers of reptilian hybrid genetic code or alien hybrid genetic code. These contain histories that were inserted into the earth for the express intent to gain ownership over the human body and human consciousness via the human 12 tribe implantation. Many people on this earth carry an assortment of fragments, attachments, ancestral beings, alien implants, fallen angelics, and potentially one or more alien hosts as a result of hybridization, miasma, karmic bloodlines, or alien abduction. Mind control programming and their holographic inserts allow the consciousness body of the individual to be infiltrated through the energetic signature of the alien implant. Mind control programs are enforced through alien implantation and their entity attachments or possessions, which are two sides of the same coin. The energetic signature of the alien implant will depend on the genetic and consciousness relationship that person has to the entity that has placed the implant in their human target. Many of these entities believe that humans are their personal property. So the alien implant will have specific information from the extra-dimensional source of the species that have laid claim to that individual, family line, or group. As we learn more about multiple species agendas, we must improve energetic discernment of the variety of forces that we interact with in the day-to-day. These are both seen and unseen forces that take advantage of our lack of awareness to manipulate intent and consent. Because we are awakening from the dark eon of alien hybridization and AI timelines, which is the primary reason for the imprisonment of our consciousness, we must shake off these parasites and reclaim our sovereign right to achieve single soul occupancy. Once informed, any dedicated and diligent person may be empowered to identify and terminate the source of spiritual oppression. Through the law of consent, we can begin to address the layers of alien trauma and remove its access and influence upon our mind and spiritual bodies. We may need the spirits of Christ to help us strengthen our personal will and clarity of intention, the qualities of patience, discipline, and diligence as we continue to command our space and claim our personal sovereignty every day, no matter what kind of interference is happening. Intrinsic to spiritual awakening is to clearly see the false identity and false beliefs that have been operating, which previously led us into misaligned thinking and therefore a misaligned pathway. Many of these false identities are the result of alien hybridization histories and mind control archetypes that are not our true spiritual identity. Some of us have operated these massive identities and beliefs for many, many lifetimes, which embed energy blockages even more deeply into our cellular memory. Many of these identities and belief systems are also sourcing from an alien genetic memory imprint or from a past or future timeline of alien hybridization. These levels of alien hybridization and interbreeding have impacted intergenerational bloodlines, and many can be traced throughout certain families that were chosen to be a part of the hybridization, or in worst cases, the experimentation for an assortment of negative alien agenda purposes. We are preparing to move into another position in the evolutionary chain which impacts universal timelines with alien hybridized identities and their relationship to the personal Christ gestalt of consciousness in new ways. Our spiritual communities will be impacted and will continue to feel the energetic and spiritual impacts of these recent events with the planetary staff. This opens up the potential of meeting future hybridized selves or other stations of related identities throughout the timelines during the spiritual initiation process. This may happen in lucid dreams, meditation, sleep state, or other consciousness work. We can mistake these alien or other identity masks as our own body because we, along with our ancestors, have lived with them for so long. Many of us may have forgotten who we are and from where we have originated without these alien controllers and their false histories. These memories may change or start to return. So be willing to know the highest truth, whatever it may reveal itself to be. Some key themes of impact in the planetary field are 12-tribe genetic healing from alien hybridization history and blood covenants are emphasized. Black cube matrix architecture from Saturn is undergoing further dismantling and extraction. Yahweh, Jehovah, and Metatronic coded biowave architecture collapse. Victimizer archetypes running amok from the electric war timeline trigger events. The agenda to run 9/11 timelines through Abaddon and Armageddon terror tactics. Aquafarian white light starfire presence made through blue feather coding. The spine of Albion and Albion body rod and staff architecture to support gender position corrections and heal the diamond sun heart and crystal blood. Correction of the planetary heart wings of Michael and Mary, solar heart twinning, and spiritual warfare ensues to gain control over the future timeline of the individual groups and those claimed as hybrids belonging to the negative alien races or through Luciferian blood covenant bonds. We are in a war over consciousness that requires we master the psychological spiritual warfare that is being directed toward humanity. In some cases, this will require that we directly experience enhanced awareness and see the actual implant, entities, psychic attack, and forms of alien or dark aggression that are all around us or influencing us directly. We cannot heal the consciousness of our planet and regain self-ownership until we understand exactly how the global mind became corrupted with the reptilian virus and synthetic alien machinery. Please have patience with this process and command your space as a God sovereign free being. We're in this together. Please only take what is useful for your spiritual growth and discard all the rest. Thank you for your courage and bravery to be a truth seeker. Until next, stay in the luminosity of your avatar, Christos Sophia heart path. Please be kind to yourself and to each other with a loving heart until next month.